Great. Now we can start analyzing our sheet music. Let's start from the most simple of things. As you can probably notice, the first thing that we can notice is that there is this bracket or brace, that ties the two staves together. You probably have already seen them or heard about them. This is speculation, of course. These are called staff in the singular and staves in the plural form. But why do we have two tied by a brace? The reason behind this is simple and intuitive. The piano is played with two hands, so each staff will be dedicated to the corresponding hand. To distinguish them, to keep them apart, we could say, it's a general consensus and convention, we could say, that the above staff is the one where we can find the notes played by the right hand, while the lower staff is the one with the notes played by the left hand. So we've spoken about a staff. As you can see, this is a set of 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with 4 spaces that can be found between the lines. First, second, third space, and fourth space, which all make up the staff. So, why do we use this system, you must be wondering? We need to use this system with spaces and lines because we need to be able to differentiate, we could say, to keep apart the notes based on pitch. So what we must do to distinguish them in terms of pitch is to place the notes on a certain line or in a certain space based on their pitch. For a convention, the notes that are on the lower part of the staff are lower in pitch as opposed to the notes that can be found on the higher part of the staff, which will actually be higher in pitch. So we have this D, or actually for now, let's just call it this note, that can be found under the last line. This note will have a lower pitch than the notes on the above line. These notes are placed either in the spaces or on the lines. Now, the first thing we can notice about the difference between the two staves, the one for the right hand and the one for the left hand, is that there are two different symbols at the beginning of these two staves. These symbols are called a clef. Let's now look into what these two clefs are. The clef is the symbol that allows us to determine the pitch of the notes that we find on our staff. If we didn't have these symbols before the start of the staff, and we were just placing the notes randomly on the spaces or on the lines, we wouldn't know what pitch to use for a certain note. So we could actually be playing something higher or playing something lower than what it should be played like, or than what the writer intended it to be played at a certain pitch. So these two symbols, the clefs, allow us to find a correspondence, we could say, between the notes on the staff and the pitch that we should be using. The pitch they should be played at, we could be saying. So in this first symbol, the treble clef, the notes on the second line will be the G that can be found just above the middle C of our piano, as we will be seeing later. Something quite important is the difference between the two clefs. They are different both in symbol and in nature. So, this is a treble clef. Well, this is the bass clef. The notes on the staff that is preceded by the bass clef will have a different correspondence between notes and staff compared to the ones used for the upper staff.